Vicki Machado is a recent PhD graduate in religion and nature from the University of Florida. She's now teaching nature writing and nature spirituality at Rollins College as a visiting assistant professor of environmental studies. For the Florida Humanities Council Speakers Bureau, Vicki presents a program on exploring Florida's sacred waters. Tonight, she uses the concept of the sacred to help us understand our springs and local waterways. And since Vicki doesn't have slides, we're not going to have a meditation after her, but we're going to have a quick talk from a special guest. So, Vicki, you want the...
I'll try it.
Okay.
Okay, it's a hard act to follow. Well, thank you, everyone. I am so grateful to be here among friends and teachers who have framed my own journey and continue to act as these beacons of inspiration. And so when I think about the sacred, it can be important to consider the larger narratives that we tell. And so you heard these narratives tonight. These are narratives of the water as beings, the water as an eye. These are journeys to springs in summer and in winter, and to shrines. These are the water as natural living systems in which we join hands with. These are spaces where we open our hearts to holy irrigation and ritual offerings, where we meet river muses, we bond and we honor and we cultivate senses of place. And these are places where we venture into heart-shaped openings, whose vibrations lead us to taking the long views. And so these are narratives that we tell not just as individuals, but as collective communities. We inhabit this world together, and history shows us that we can shift public perceptions. It's what took a swamp, a wasteland, and it turned it into a river of grass. And so in a similar manner, we can take these springs, these places that are already magical in their own right, places of our hearts, but they're also places of recreation and resource use. And we can consider the inherent value that they offer. They offer us spaces of the holy and the sacred and the divine, and not just for us, but also for the larger biotic community. Because I think it's really important for us to shift our focus from an anthropocentric understanding, one that is human-centered, to a biocentric understanding, where we are considering other beings, not just human beings, but non-human beings and other life forms. And so this is just the beginning of a much larger conversation, one that is powerful, and one that is dynamic, and one that is intersectional, and that considers a range of voices, including that of the water. So I will end with that.